Welcome, everybody, to episode 186 of the Geek Dad Report, the one show dedicated, formulated, specially created, and to bring you all the Spider-Man news you need to know, all while putting a little Star Wars smile on your beautiful faces. I am Brian, the hostess with the absolute Spiderific mostest.
And I am Ryan. I guess I kind of look like Sandman. Doesn't Sandman have, like, the stripe costume? I could be Sandman.
You do actually look like Sandman. We did not plan this, but I feel like it's definitely... I mean, I'm clearly never going to be the villain in this story, so...
This was literally just like, I needed a shirt, and I picked it up off the ground and put it on.
Flap, flap. Actually, I don't think he goes... I think it's more like flap, flap, flap.
I can't remember. Sandman just shoots sand.
Why are we doing Spider-Man fingers? Because we got some Spider-Man news. A lot of Spider-Man news.
Yeah.
Now, everyone, this is not breaking probably to anyone, but we have not had our chance to talk about the ginormous shakeup in the Spider-Universe, so we're going to be talking about that a little bit later. But first, Ryan, my friend, what's up, buddy? What's new?
Not much, man. It's been I've been doing a lot of overtime this week, so putting in good 12-hour days.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering when I was like, hey, you want to start the show around, I don't know, what time is it your time? Like 10, 11? And you're like, yeah, I just made myself dinner. I was like, what?
Well, that was mostly because weird shit. But
weird shit? What? Did you like dinner? Did you like get to hunt a bear in your backyard?
I did all my overtime work, and I was home for like 5 minutes, and then my son had a soccer scrimmage, and so I went and watched that for 2 hours.
Little foosball action, huh?
Made sure everybody's showered and tried to get everybody in bed, and my daughter's all upset about her class situation at school because none of her best friends are in her class. God,
that happened to my daughter too. That's kind of messed up, honestly. How is it that you go to these schools and not a single one of your friends end up in the same class as you? Like, what is that?
So she'd had her two best friends have been in the same class with her since first grade. And she's going into fourth grade. So that first grade, second grade, third grade, all three of them were in the same class together. Now this year, she doesn't know. Shouldn't have any of her friends in her class. Yeah,
I just told my daughter, I was like, hey, it's just a good opportunity to meet new friends, and now you'll have a bigger group of friends.
Yeah, and you'll see your friends at recess.
I mean, I didn't want to break the real truth. Is like, listen, you're never going to talk to these people in about 10 years, so who cares?
Yeah, there's going to be like one person from high school that you still talk to.
Listen, my wife remembers first, middle, and last name of everyone she ever went to school with. It's kind of creepy. I'll be honest.
Oh, really?
I can't remember I don't remember a single teacher I had. Like, I don't remember anybody from school, but I moved a lot. But she remembers, like, all her teachers. Like, I listen to people talk about, you always have that one teacher that you never forget. And I'm like, I don't remember any of their names. All my teachers sucked.
Like, I can remember some people's last names because we called them by their last name. But I couldn't remember their first name for the life of me. Like, oh, there's Jacoby.
See, that's what I needed. I needed, like, a kindly Robin Williams who, like, looked at me and, like, I can work with I can mold you. Your brain is so big, but you just need direction. Maybe that's what happened to me. Nobody molded me. Nobody gave me direction. Or maybe I didn't have that big of a brain. I don't know. One of those three things did not happen in my life.
Show up to your 25-year reunion and Romy and Michelle it.
Dude, I went to high school, the same high school, like, for 2 years. I barely knew anybody I graduated with. Yeah. Well, that's not entirely true. I was pretty popular, so I knew a lot of people. But, like, I mean, whatever. I was never, like, lifelong friends. I had a really hard time. So, this is a side note, I guess. When we had to walk down for graduation, I did not know, because I moved so much, that apparently people planned their graduation walk partner, like, in junior high. Like, every girl I asked to walk down every person I asked to walk down with me, well, most of the time it's usually a guy and a girl. So every girl I had, every friend I had, every girl I knew, I asked her, hey, you want to walk down graduation? And I was popular. I played football. I was like on a whole bunch of cool school boards and shit. Like, I was popular. And I could not find a single person to walk with me. Everyone's like, oh, I'd love to, but I promised, fucking dipshit McNeely in the 3rd grade that I'd walk with him. And I'm like, okay. So I end up walking with a dude I played football with.
Did you guys hold hands at least?
Hell no, we didn't hold hands. However, I did make a fatal mistake. I did not pull on my graduation gown literally until the morning of, and that shit was wrinkled as fuck. Like, it had all these creases in it, and I'm like, man, this is real bad. I'm walking down. Me and him are walking. We're just like staring at each other. We played football together. I played tackle, and when I was on offensive line, I was tackle and he was a guard. So we're like, let's just go together. He's like, all right, fuck it. And so we're walking down the aisle, looking about as grumpy as you can be. He's clearly not wanting to walk with me, and I don't want to walk with him. And I'm all like, I got like creases in my gown. It's real bad.
You're like ruining his photos. Like, oh god, look how shitty that guy's gown.
I got the loser kid from who moved here last year. God, who's got the wrinkled gown? It was real bad. So the things you learn that my kids won't have to suffer through.
We didn't have anything like that, but we did have like a yearbook photo that was if you had been from kindergarten all the way to high school in Stevens, then they wanted like everybody in this group picture. And I convinced this one guy who's only been at school for like 3 years, and I'm like, dude, just jump in the picture. He's like, no, I've only been at this high school for like 3 years. And we're like, no, just get in it. Like, just tell everyone you've been here since kindergarten. And so I convinced him to like get in. There's like these 15 people who, of us that had been there since kindergarten. And then there's this one guy who's only been there for 3 years.
That's funny.
It was awesome.
Yeah, fucking graduation. I remember the worst part was so graduation night comes, and they didn't want any of us going out like drinking, which I mean, I guess is like responsible or something. Yeah. So we had this huge party planned. Well, they found out, all the parents found out, and they signed us all up for like this. They had this like graduation night thing that was chaperoned. It was actually pretty cool. They had like this big place rented out, and they had like magic and games and all this fun shit you could do and not drink and get in trouble. But we all wanted to drink and get in trouble. And so our parents had all signed us up. And they're all like, surprise! And this giant charter bus shows up that's chaperoned by like teachers. And then you have to all get on this bus like right after graduation. I was like, what is this? So we all just got like, and you couldn't even leave. They had the building on like lockdown. So we were stuck there till like 1 a.m. That's some bullshit.
Yeah, we had we got on a bus and we went down to Seattle, I think so, and we did like one of those boat things. So we got to go on the boat, and they gave everybody like $1,000 casino chips that you weren't getting any money afterward. But they had like a whole deck for a casino, with craps and roulette and
that sends a good message.
Deck had like the dance floor.
Congratulations, you're going into the real world. Find out how you can gamble your life away.
Yeah, no shit. Like, so you left high school, you only have $100, and you put it all on red.
Yeah,
now you're broke.
Congratulations. And then somebody wants to sleep with you for $1 million. Yeah. I've seen this movie. Nice.
It was fun. But we enough reminiscing about the good old days, Brian. We're in 2019 now.
That's true. We're in 2019. I just got back from vacation, which was fun and relaxing. That's why that's what we were on last week. So sorry we were off last week. But hey, sometimes you got to get away and recharge the batteries. That's all I'm saying. The only interesting thing I have to say is about my trip is we went camping at this campsite. It was super nice, but apparently we decided to camp with a whole bunch of bees. So there's a bee nest somewhere. So like literally all week these Yellow Jackets are swarming and dive bombing us all week.
Oh
that was
my God.
Fun. Yeah, luckily only 2 people got stung, and since I'm allergic to bees, it wasn't me. Woohoo!
Yeah, and hopefully not a kid because the kids.
No, it was my buddy and my wife. They both got stung.
Oh, your wife got stung?
Yeah, she did one of the ones where she sat in a chair and leaned back, and it was on the chair, and it got her. But no, I mean, we were pretty fortunate that considering there was so many bees flying around, like the only time they got real aggressive was when food came out. And then like my barbecue, I barbecued one time. We had to cook everything inside because I barbecued one time on my little portable grill that I bring, and those bees fucking decided that it was theirs, and so anytime you go near it, they would like start attacking you. Yeah, trying to clean it was real great. I got the hose and I'm like fucking trying to hose bees out of the hair. That doesn't work so well. Stupid bees. Finally, my wife, on like the last day, she finally lost her shit. She's like sweeping, and these bees are coming after because she's sweeping by the garbage can. And finally, she's like, "I fucking had it." It was like Samuel Jackson, Snakes on a Plane. I have motherfucking had it. with these motherfucking bees in this motherfucking campground. And she starts swinging this broom around like goddamn Babe Ruth. And she's just knocking bees out of the park left and right. And you can tell when she got one, she'd be like, because she'd throw it up just straight gangster, like, what? What? And then she'd like fucking beat it in the ground and stomp on it. I was like, goddamn, woman.
Yeah.
You get some. You get them goddamn bees. Trying to kill your old man.
I'm going to record this for later.
Mm-hmm. My wife's a spicy woman. Anyway, so that's what happened on vacation.
You definitely don't want to mess with your wife.
No, I don't. Let's see. Yeah, so that happened on vacation, and then apparently the universe decided that, oh, look, Brian's on vacation, so Brian and Ryan aren't going to have a new Geek Dad Report, so let's give every goddamn piece of giant news in the nerd stratosphere.
We did not plan accordingly that Disney Expo was
we would not have probably recorded. I think the expo came on a Friday, so that would be this week's news in general. But honestly, the big piece of news that we haven't commented about is Spider-Man. So we're going to talk about that here in a second. And we got a lot of D3 news, and we've got a few other news stories. So we are going to, I think we just skip all the other foreplay and just dive right into the main course tonight, Ryan. What do you think about that?
I think that is an excellent idea.
And for those of you who don't care, give a shit about the news, skip it out to the end. We got a couple of recommendations, and we got the faithful 20 this week have been bumped up from 15.
Oh, it's like we're growing.
We're starting to grow again. I think people have taken our challenge to heart, and we got some great questions from the faithful 15, 25, 30, 26 and a half. I don't know, but from the faithful 9 3/4, we got some good questions. So you also have that to look forward to, people. You're welcome.
Yeah, and actually a really good question, too. So
yeah, they're all pretty fun. So, all right, let's dive into the news. Let's get to it. Ryan, it is time to enter the Marvel Thunderdome. Two studios enter, Ryan. Only one superhero walks out.
Oh, man. We
are coming with the Spidey Sense uppercut of IP value? We are coming with the Spider-Man arm swingy thing.
And then we'll finish it off, Brian, with the Dr. Octopus multiple arm leg sweep.
It's so good. You know what I should have came with? We're coming with the Hobgoblin. Like, chariot flying thing. Glider. The gliding chariot Gobblernator. The Goblin Cherry-mobile.
The Goblin Chariot.
The Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. The Goblet of Orange Pumpkin Fire.
Isn't that... Wait, are you saying Hobgoblin or the Goblin?
I don't know. There's too many goblins in Spider-Man. Anyway, whatever. We're diving straight into the news, and we're not messing around. We were going to tell you a few stories that had nothing to do with Spider-Man, but since we've already teased Spider-Man enough, we're just going to bust out with it. The big news that broke last week was that Spider-Man was no longer going to be part of the MCU. That is right. Marvel and Sony have cut ties, and Spider-Man, like a poor divorced kid of a divorced parents, are being ripped apart. Except for he's never getting to see his dad again. No, he's got to live with his mom forever. Doesn't even get weekends. Some bullshit.
It was mom basically saying, like, your dad dead.
Your dad died. Meet your new boyfriend, Venom. I mean, meet my new boyfriend, Venom.
And he might be getting forced upon that, too. I mean, just... You never know what's going to happen over there at Sony. So, Sony, they were paying very close attention to how Marvel did things, and they're just going to copy it to the T.
I mean, listen, the hot takes have been out there. We'll give our quick take. We're not going to dive too much into it. I mean, we can talk a little bit about, if you want, like what we actually think kind of was what happened, what went on. But, I mean, so the basics of it are this. I mean, Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal worked out a deal where Disney would basically get to rent back their property. They would let them... Because, anybody's not familiar with the original deal, back in the 90s, Marvel was about to go bankrupt, and the only way they could save their company back when they were just a publisher was to lease out the IP rights of their characters for movies and film and stuff like that. So, or movies and TV. And whatever. So the studios came and they just kind of plucked all the, the most popular characters. Fox got Fantastic Four, Daredevil, X-Men. Sony, the only one Sony grabbed was Spider-Man, but Spider-Man is one of Marvel's most, popular heroes pretty much of all time. And so that's why Sony continues to make movies. Even you're like, wow, we've had 9 Spider-Man movies. Well, yeah, because these IPs, if you don't continue to make movies, they lapse back to Marvel, which is now owned by Disney. So Disney would get their IP back. So Sony, we are going to get ungodly amounts of Spider-Man films because if Sony doesn't make them, then they lose the property. So really what it boils down to is they got Spider-Man, Marvel and them hashed out a deal. They got Spider-Man for 5 films. They got the 2 solo movies and then the Captain America and then the 2 Avenger movies. And it seemed like to all of us that it was really good and everything was going really well. But apparently Disney looked at it and said, listen, we got I think this has a lot to do with X-Men, right? I think now that they have X-Men back and Fantastic Four back, I think they want Kevin Feige to focus on their properties, on their IP, which makes total sense. So I think Disney came at this going, well, listen, we've made Spider-Man Far From Home is the highest grossing Sony movie of all time. Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, our property, our influence, our hero, well, I guess not their property, but their hero, we know what we're doing. We have created a franchise. We've incorporated them into the greatest franchise ever made in movies. And we've just given you your highest grossing movie of all time. So if you want to continue to use Kevin Feige, we want this to be a 50-50 partnership. So the original deal was Sony, Marvel got to use Spider-Man, but Marvel had to make 2 Marvel movies for Sony. Now, Sony foot the bill, but Marvel did all the legwork. They hired the people. They casted everybody. So basically, it was a Disney movie that was financed by Sony. And Disney got 5%
of the production cost.
So Disney paid none of the production costs. Sony financed the bill for everything, and Disney got 5% of the total profits of each movie.
Of the first day.
Of the first 2 first take. So this is before they write everything off and say all these movies lost money. This is like, Spider-Man Far From Home made $1 billion. Disney got 5% of that, right, for making the movie. Yeah. Now the deal is now they got to keep all the money from like the Avengers and Captain America when they used Spider-Man, but Disney just wanted to be partners. They were like, hey, listen, we want to make half the movie. Now, listen, I'm not going to paint Disney as the good guy. I don't necessarily think there's a good or bad guy in this. Us fans are a little more butthurt about it just because of how great Spider-Man's been. But I'm not going to paint Sony as the villain in this thing. I mean, Sony's like, hey, listen, our Venom movie, I know everybody trashed it, but it made almost $1 billion. Into the Spider-Verse, people talk about that like it's the best Spider-Man movie ever made. And we have Tom Holland for 2 more movies, so maybe we could... And we've seen how you've done it, so maybe we just don't pay you that money.
Wait, so Tom Holland is still technically Spider-Man?
So here's the deal. Tom Holland is under contract for 2 more movies. So they're going to move forward with Tom Holland. They're going to move forward with the storylines that they've created. They just could no longer use any of the stuff from the MCU. So, we will no longer have the Iron Spider suit because that is from Tony Stark. So, nothing with Stark Industries. Happy will not be there. All the things that they set up in the last movie will be, bye-bye.
That's going to be interesting to see how they're going to write their way out of that.
So, if they want to bring Mysterio back or the Vulture back, they have to give them new costumes that can't have anything to do with Stark tech. Or alien tech from the invasion. They can't mention the invasion of New York. They can't reference the MCU literally at all. So
they can't talk about the Infinity Gauntlet.
Can't talk about the Infinity Gauntlet. Can't talk about Peter. They can't even talk. I don't even know if they can talk about the 5-year blip anymore.
You can't say that he knows a guy named Captain America from Brooklyn.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Are these going to be okay? Yeah. I mean, are they as good as they would be? No. I mean, and I think Marvel kind of knew, because even if you watch... Now, there's going to be a couple Far From Home spoilers in here, nothing too major, but if you've seen the movies, there is... They set it up so Spider-Man could make a clean break. Tony Stark is dead. Tony Stark was Spider-Man's real connection to the Avengers. to everybody else. Nobody else really knew him all that well. And they did kind of wrap up the Tony Stark, Peter Parker storyline a little bit in the last movie. I mean, yes, Tony gave him kind of the keys to the kingdom, but you could easily move on. Given the very, very final events of that movie, which I won't spoil, you could easily just forget about the Tony Stark stuff and just go with that, and I think people would forget about it. And as far as Marvel goes, I think they've given themselves a lifeline too. Is like they're going to space. They're introducing the Eternals. They're doing Guardians. They're doing all these other things that don't need Spider-Man.
Yeah, they're definitely getting out of this world, essentially.
Well, and there's not even an Avengers movie planned for Phase 4. So, I mean, like, if in Marvel's defense, if they were going to ask for more, and I do think a little bit of Disney, I think this is Disney saying, we have enough for Feige to focus on. We have an X-Men universe we're going to launch. We got Deadpool. We got all these things that we need our movie Jesus guru to focus his time on. If Sony wants him to focus his time on Spider-Man, then we need to be co-partners. And I think that was Disney's, and I don't think Disney's wrong. I mean, they just, like I said, produced the highest grossing movie of all time to cap off the highest grossing series of all time. I mean, I understand both things. Like, Sony's like, hey, listen, Spider-Man is your most popular character. You just made him even more popular. He will never be more popular than he is now. And he's the only thing we have. So why would we give you half of that? You guys can just go do your thing and we'll just do ours.
Yeah. Well, and if you look at like what the timeline was dropping like so far for like all the movies and everything like that, like we probably wouldn't even get to see a new Spider-Man movie till 2025.
And I also think, yeah, exactly. And I also think Amy Pascal, I think maybe that was another thing too. Marvel didn't seem to have a new Spider-Man movie in their slate. That was a little strange that they hadn't even talked about it. Amy Pascal, the person who originally, the producer at Sony who originally brokered that deal, is no longer there. What else? Venom, it seemed like they really, really wanted Tom Holland to appear in Venom. It sounded like they really wanted to mix the MCU and Spider-Verse together. It seemed like Marvel was a little apprehensive of it, and I think this was kind of their counter to that. It's like, listen, if you guys want us to do it, fine. Kevin Feige will he'll sprinkle his Feige dust on everything, and he will give you guys an amazing intertwined Spider-Verse within the MCU, and we'll still have this, but we have to partner on this whole thing. We are going to co-produce all your Spider-Man movies. We're going to be partners in all this. Basically, in essence, Disney wanted to make them an unofficial partner with them in the Spider-Man business of the MCU, and Sony just didn't want to, and they said, "Fuck off! Thank you, but no thank you."
Oh, I guess we'll see what Sony comes up with. I mean, I'm just trying to think. Like, what was the favorite? Like, what was the best Spider-Man?
Into the Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse is still probably the best Spider-Man movie
that they've done on their own.
That's anybody's done. I think Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie, period.
Yeah. My kids have watched it 5 times, probably.
It is amazing how good that movie is. And that was done by Lord and Miller, the guys who did 21 Jump Street and the Lego movies and stuff. So, honestly, Sony's probably talking to them, offering them a buttload of cash to kind of take control of the Spider-Verse. And, honestly, if they're smart, Venom sucked. I was not a fan of Venom. I know lots of people like Venom, and I'm not trashing anybody who did, but I thought the movie was terrible. They do have an opportunity to make this one Venom 2 much better. I thought not Tom Holland. Who's that? Eddie Brock. Who's Eddie Brock?
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. Thank you. I thought Tom Hardy was really good as Venom. Woody Harrelson as Carnage could be pretty good, but Andy Serkis is going to be the director. I like him as a director. I think they can, and especially if you bring Tom Holland in, I think you can make this universe really good. I think you can make some good Venom movies. So. And to your point, who knew we were going to get another Spider-Man? Now we're going to get another Spider-Man in 2 years, guaranteed. So it is what it is. I mean, ultimately, I've seen people like want to boycott Sony. That was my initial thoughts and feelings too. Is like, screw Sony. There's videos of people burning their PlayStations. I was like, guys, come on, everybody, take a breath.
Yeah. I guess the benefit is that we're going to get a Spider-Man movie a lot sooner, coming straight from Sony than we would in the MCU.
That, and I have a little bit of faith after Into the Spider-Verse. That was a great movie. So if they can capitalize on that and make more of that with Tom Holland, I think Spider-Man can still be a really great universe. And like we said, Marvel is clearly going in a different direction. They are going to space. They're going to galactic-sized figures. And they're going to X-Men and Fantastic Four in the next 10 years. And they still have Deadpool. So it's not like we're all going to sit here and be like, Marvel will never be the same. Yes.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was wonderful. We never thought we'd see it happen. We got a 5-movie gift that had an amazing storyline that intertwined with one of our favorite characters from Marvel. And because Tony and Peter were able to have that relationship because of this deal, we got the emotional punch at the end of Endgame that was even more because Spider-Man was back. And, they had that moment together. So, as much as it sucks we're not going to have Tom Holland in the MCU anymore, I'm still really happy that it happened. And I'm that we got him in the first place. And I'm going to choose to not be, real angry about it. It sucks. But, what do you do?
That's exactly how you have to go with it. I mean, it does suck, but, We're getting more Tom Holland. At least Tom Holland's not going anywhere. And he was definitely one of my wife's most favorite characters from the last couple of movies. Like when I looked over at her at Endgame and Spider-Man, getting away, my wife was just she's got these.
That being said, the director John Watts is not under contract for any more Spider-Man movies, and apparently Disney is making an aggressive pitch to bring him over to the MCU movies.
It wouldn't surprise me. They have the funds.
Sorry, Sony, but whatever. It is what it is. So, and listen, it's only going to take 1 or 2 real bad Sony movies again before they call Marvel back and say it sounds like there was no bad blood between the split. It was just a matter of thank you, but no thank you. It's maybe we should just go our separate ways. So hopefully they can keep that open, and maybe one day Spider-Man will be back in the MCU.
Yeah, in 2037.
By then, we'll have recast Spider-Man, and we'll be on our 6th X-Men movie, so, whatever.
Yeah, well, it'll be on page 7 of the MCU or whatever.
So I think that covers about all for the Spider-Man. Did we leave anything out? Anything else? Do you think anything else anybody would want to know about?
I think we securely webbed everything that could be webbed.
We covered it in spider goo.
Ugh.
Yeah, no? That's not what you're looking for?
Now we're going to just suck all the fluids out of everything.
Speak for yourself.
That's what a spider does.
All right, so obviously our other big news of the week was D23 that just happened, like you mentioned earlier, which is the Disney's version of Comic-Con, where it's only Disney properties. We're going to talk about that next. We're going to probably spend the rest of the show talking about that. So before we get sidetracked, though, I did have a couple other news stories I wanted to mention before we got to our D23 news. First up, Krypton, unfortunately, a show that me and you both really liked, got canceled last week from literally 2 days after the season finale aired. We found out it was the series finale, which really sucks because it ended on such a cliffhanger. It ended with, well, I'm not going to say in case anybody hasn't watched it. I'd still recommend watching the first 2 seasons. It's a good show. You can catch them over at the DC Universe app. But, the show's being shopped around to different networks, so we'll see. Maybe somebody will pick it up. Maybe they can get it on the DC Universe app. Mm-hmm. I guess that would probably depend on how much.
The second season.
What?
How many episodes was the second season?
10 episodes. So there's been 20 episodes made of the show. It sucks, too, because the show, I think, was just kind of starting to find its footing. But apparently, so Sci-Fi doesn't make any original content. They have to license shows from people who make the content. So whenever ratings drop even a little bit, Sci-Fi can't justify the cost. That's why The Expanse got canceled, even though The Expanse was super good. Same thing with this show, even though it was a pretty good show, the cost, the viewers dropped just enough where they were like, nope, we just cancel it. So they have no vested interest in keeping it.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
So that's why I didn't understand why Sci-Fi was so quick to pull the trigger on these shows, but I guess that makes a lot of sense. If you're not making it yourself, you're not selling the DVDs, you're not doing reruns. I mean, it's like you're licensing it.
Yeah. I guess it makes sense. I still haven't caught any of the second season. I was just kind of waiting for it all because I've been just binging stuff.
Well,
lately.
Great. You know what the article actually said? If one more person would have watched season 2, we would have renewed it. Ryan, you son of a bitch.
Sorry,
I put this squarely on you. Anybody who is angry that Krypton has been canceled, please just show up at Ryan's house and sit in his bushes and wait for him.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter.
I mean, like, when he comes out, don't do anything to him, but just be like, hey, I want you to know that I'm in your bushes because of you canceled Krypton. Okay, let's see here. What else we got? Netflix, the channel that hopefully will save Krypton, is they just announced a new show. So Kevin Smith, the guy behind Dogma and Mallrats and Clerks and other things, is apparently the showrunner on a new animated series from Netflix, Masters of the Universe, Revelation. So the Netflix is rebooting. Well, less of a reboot. They are bringing back Masters of the Universe, and this apparently is a follow-up to the TV show from the 80s. So this is following the direct story that ended with that cartoon.
God, I could not tell you where the story was at any point.
I have no idea, so I'm kind of hoping they give us a recap a little bit. But
yeah.
This is still probably a few years away. They've just finished with the first season as far as the writing goes, and now they're sending it to the animators. The good news is the animation studio is the same people who did Castlevania for Netflix. So
they did what for Netflix?
Castlevania.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this show, apparently, this isn't going to be like Kevin Smith, like, oh, He-Man's going to be smoking weed outside of a convenience store in Eternia. No, this is actually like very faithful to the, Kevin Smith took to Instagram and made his videos and was talking very much about how, like, hey, listen, this is for fans. I'm not going to Kevin Smith this. I want people to know that, like, if you're a hardcore fan of Master of the Universe and you're like, here's how I would do the show, he goes, that's what we're trying to do. He goes, we want the fights.
Is screechy and annoying sounding.
Yes. Well, they're bringing all the characters in. Apparently, one of the big emphasis is like they didn't have the money in the original show to have proper fights, so it ended up being a lot of drama. And then they're like, whoa! And then they like punch one guy, and the show would be over. So,
like He-Man like slicing some dude.
Yeah, this is supposed to be much more like he talked about. Like he wanted to make his own kind of Avengers level fighting style in Master of the Universe. So. Hey, sign me up.
Castlevania guys, then yeah, you're going to get some pretty sweet fights.
Dude, Castlevania, well, it won't be rated R like Castlevania, but Castlevania, if anybody's not seen Castlevania, season 1 and 2 are both available on Netflix. It's a quick watch. I think it's 10 episodes, half-hour episodes. Yeah. I think it might only should be 6. I think there's only 12 episodes. It is incredible.
Yeah. You start watching it, and before you know it, you finish the whole season, and you 100% captivated.
Yep, you're like, yep, next, yep, keep watching. Nope, not going to work today. Just keep watching. Yeah. All right, what else? What other news we got here? There's some Ballers. Anybody who likes Ballers? This will be the final season, so tough shit.
Yeah, makes sense considering they can't keep running that story down.
Yeah. Well, I actually watched Ballers. I really enjoy the show. It does make a lot of sense. The way that they've do you watch Ballers?
Oh, yeah. I've watched all.
I say the way that they've kind of built it up, this show cannot keep running forever. Like, it makes sense that it's going to end after a season. Plus, The Rock is a busy dude.
Expansion stuff and trying to do the whole LA expansion team and everything. You knew they're starting to get down toward the end of it.
Well, and like I said, he is a busy dude.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I'm trying to look here. Any other non-Star Wars news? We got a new trailer for Titans Season 2. I didn't watch the entire trailer just because the show starts in like a week. So, whatever. But it looks pretty cool. Yeah. If you like Titans, I'm on board.
I'm just going off the first one trailer and done. That's it.
And then, let's see, non-Disney news. Well, this wasn't D23 news, but I'll say it now. Disney has confirmed that they are actually... We announced it a while ago, but it was all rumor and speculation. They're confirmed that Avengers Campus is going to be a new Marvel-themed addition to Star Wars Land, to Disneyland, and it's going to be open in summer of 2020.
Yeah.
So anybody's familiar with, it's going to be in California Adventure. Anybody's familiar with that really stupid Bugs Life section? That has all been ripped out, and they're going to Marvel it up.
Yeah, it's going to be even more busy.
I don't know if it's... Yeah, definitely. I don't know if there's going to actually be any new rides, but it's a lot of expo stuff. But I do know that they've added a Captain America 1940 style theme bar.
Ooh.
Hey, that's where I'm going to be. And then last little bit of news before we get to our Disney stuff. Have you ever heard of a movie called The Matrix?
I believe they were really popular in the late 90s.
Well, then you must have taken the blue pill. I think that's the right pill.
I think I was a red pill.
I don't know. All I know is side notes. You can get all the Matrix movies on iTunes right now for $5 each. 4K.
Each? I
bought all 3. I mean, really, there's only one with 2 other things that are kind of like the Matrix, but they're called the Matrix, but they're not really the Matrix. Yeah, all 3 4K, $5 a piece.
Was it like some animated ones or something like that?
Yeah, Animatrix. The Animatrix, that was really good too. But yeah, anyway, The Matrix, everyone knows what it is. If you have not seen The Matrix, I highly recommend going and watching at least the first one. The second one's better than people give it credit for. The third one, not very good. But, whatever. It's still a fine trilogy.
It's good to introduce it to your children.
Yeah, so Lana Wachowski, the original one of there was two Wachowskis that made the first one. Lana is doing this. Her sister is not going to be doing this one with her, but she's coming back to direct, which is really cool. I'd never wanted to watch any Matrix. When we had heard that they might be rebooting it without the Wachowskis, I just no thank you. But not only is she coming back for the movie, Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are both confirmed to be on board for the fourth one. So Neo and Trinity are coming back.
So, oh man, I'm trying to remember. So in the third one, didn't they make peace or something?
So a little bit of spoilers. In the third movie, Neo sacrificed himself to make peace between the two robots. The robots and the humans brokered a peace. He brokered a peace deal with the robots that the humans could live, and that they could free anybody who wanted to be free from the Matrix, but they would no longer try and kill each other. And that was the deal. So, Trinity died on the way to helping him get to that point. He made the deal. Basically, had to. The only reason why the machines would honor this deal is because Agent Smith had become a self-replicating virus and was threatening to destroy the Matrix. So he made a deal that if he killed Agent Smith, then the Matrix would honor the deal and save the humans. So he fought Agent Smith, but in the process was killed. Agent Smith died, and so did Keanu Reeves, and so they honored the deal and made peace with mankind.
Now, something going to happen.
Well, at the very end of the movie, the robots had been like, "Yeah, we'll honor it, but how long will the humans actually honor it?" Right? So, Keanu Reeves in the movie was actually like he was a clone. The one was recreated every so often to bring balance because they found that if people didn't have free will, the Matrix collapsed. So they always made one chosen one to restart the entire process over again. And so he was the same one. He was this. Yeah, he was this. This version of Keanu was the 6th iteration of Keanu. So it's conceivable we're going to see the next iteration of Neo, or maybe the humans or maybe the machines decide to not honor the deal, and the humans are able to, maybe they have his DNA, maybe they're able to, because they could clone already, so maybe they're bringing back. I don't know. There's lots of ways to do it. I don't really care. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see like the next iteration, like this is like the new reset.
Yeah, as long as it's I don't want a remake. No more remakes. But if you're gonna give me a continuation of the universe that could reboot it, then I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Was it Lana that's doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll figure something out.
Yeah, she's great, man. And like I said, if you have not seen her show, Sense8, it's one of my favorite shows of all time on Netflix. It only got 2 seasons, but it did get a finale movie to finish the show. So, and she directed that, and it's incredible. But anyway, plus Keanu Reeves is fucking my hero, and so any Keanu Reeves is good Keanu Reeves. Yeah. All right, moving on to the Disney stuff. Let's do. D23 came out. Let's save the Star Wars stuff for the last couple things because I love Star Wars. So we'll knock through this first few things at Marvel that were kind of announced, and we'll kind of go from there. So a lot of people expected more Phase 4 movies from Marvel being announced. That did not actually happen. We also didn't get a Phase 5. The only thing we did get was we got an official announcement that Black Panther was coming in 2022. So we don't even know what phase that is. We just know that's 1,000 days away.
Yeah, a billion years away.
Yeah, we also got confirmation from the movie side is that Kit Harington from Game of Thrones would be he had been cast in a Marvel role that had not been announced yet for a movie. So there was for about a day and a half there was a lot of speculation. A lot of people thought he was going to be Wolverine. It ends up being actually he's been cast in the Eternals. He's going to play the Black Knight. So he will be reuniting with it'll be Rob and John Stark hanging out together. Yeah, the brothers shall be reunited. Actually, they're like nephew and uncle. I'm not sure how that works. Whatever. But yeah, he'll be the Black Knight. I forget the name of the character, but he's going to be I don't know if this is. I'm not super familiar with that character, but I do know he's. I don't know if this is going to be spun off into its own thing or.
I'm gonna have to Marvel Wiki the whole Eternals essentially, just so.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I don't know much about the Eternals at all. I mean, they rolled them all out on stage. They showed us their costumes. They all look pretty cool. I mean, it's Marvel, so it's going to be cool.
Yeah. So, and it's very diverse. So people are going to be complaining about, there needs to be more white people.
Well, they've already announced that I think it's the Eternals. One of the Eternals is going to be it's going to be the first openly gay character so it's one of the guys because he's going to have a husband.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whatever. It's 2019, people.
Yeah.
Get over it. What other news they did? We got a new Frozen 2 trailer or poster. Whatever. I think that comes out later this year. All I know is all our kids are going to see it, so I don't think we need to talk about it.
When there's more information.
When there's more information, we'll share it. We did get I know you're really excited for this one, Ryan. We got a Lady and the Tramp live action trailer. And let me tell you, it looks like two dogs talking to each other. It's real fucking weird.
I have not shown it to my daughter for the specific reason that I know she will bug the living crap out of me to see this movie because it's got dogs in it and the dogs talk.
I have realized one very important thing about this movie, Lady and the Tramp, is I now understand why we don't need every movie remade into live action. Just don't do it.
Yeah. I'm willing. I'm just kind of wondering, like, what is the bottom of the barrel that they're going to scrape?
Well, this one's coming out on Disney Plus, so if they're going to start re-releasing these on Disney Plus, there is no bottom to the barrel. They're just going to keep churning them out. I mean, we're going to get, like, I don't know, what's a real bad Disney movie you had to watch as a kid? Why can't we get, like, The Black Cauldron or Bread Knobs and Broomsticks? Let's get those movies.
Yeah. Why don't we get, God, I'm trying to think of, like, the Disney animated movie.
It's going to get real weird when we watch the Robin Hood live action with real foxes running around shooting arrows. I don't know what's going to happen. Whatever. But yes, the only saving grace for this is that we don't have to actually go to the theater and watch this. I can sit in the safety of my own home and get blackout drunk and watch it with my kids.
Yeah, that is a good plus. I mean, you could just pop it on the TV and pop yourself
Or if you live in one of the wonderful states like mine that has legalized weed, you could just get real high and pretend those dogs are actually talking to each other.
But, wow!
Whoa, that's amazing.
Animations on this is amazing.
This is amazing. But speaking of Disney Plus, Disney also kind of dropped a few things. So this is just a quick. If you are one of the people who are going to get Disney Plus, so apparently if you sign up for Disney's 23 membership service, which I don't actually have, so I'm going to go do this. I was going to do it today, but apparently so many people did it crashed the website. If you are a Disney 23 member, a D23 member, even a free level, so there's apparently you can pay, I don't know, but you can also join for free. If you're free, you can sign up for the Disney Plus Super Service, which is 3 years for like $150 for all 3 years.
Wait.
So here's the deal. You can sign up right now when Disney launches. You can sign up monthly for $6.99. Now, it's more if you get Hulu and ESPN, but let's just talk about for the service itself. So Disney is going to be $6.99 a month, or it's going to be $75 a year. So you can save a little money if you pay for an entire year. But if you pay for 3 years, they drop $20 off the price of that, I believe, per year. So it rolls up to about $150 for 3 years. So many people were like, yes, we want that deal now. The entire website crashed.
Well, there's not a lot. there's no subscription service that you can lock in for 3 years. 3 years is a long time if you really think about it.
Oh yeah, but I mean, this is like every parent knows that this website is, or this streaming service is everything. Is all your kids are going to be watching once it pops, and then
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're going to talk.
This is the new babysitter right there. Babysitter Disney Plus.
Well, and we're going to talk about the Star Wars stuff, that I'm really excited about. But we already know about, the Bucky Winter Soldier, WandaVision, the Loki series. They also announced 3 more series that are coming that are going to tie in. Now, these series all tie into the movies, right? These are all going to be movie characters. They announced Moon Knight, which is kind of like their version of Marvel's version of Batman. She-Hulk, which we all know who She-Hulk is, and Mrs. Marvel, who is one of the young teenage, really super popular comic book characters right now. She's an Inhuman that is like idolizes Captain Marvel, so she has the ability. She's kind of like she gets the ability to like make her body huge and do all kinds of cool stuff. So they announced all 3 of those series are going to be coming in the next few years too.
Yeah, and Disney Plus is going to be a massive money maker for.
Well, and honestly, if you look at I looked at their lineup, so you can go and check out their initial launch lineup. There's going to be a lot of people disappointed. There's only like 4 Marvel movies coming. Now, some of this could be, I was talking to a friend, and they were talking about how like some of this could be because a lot of their movies are already licensed out to like Netflix and other places, so they probably have to finish those deals before they can get them and put them on their streaming service. But there's like 30 Disney animated movies. There's a ton of different content, but what you are not going to be able to get anywhere else are the Marvel MCU shows that are part of the Marvel universe. And the Disney and the Star Wars stuff that's coming right now. So I mean, we're going to talk about right here. We already knew about the Mandalorian. That show is actually launching with the service in November. We got our first official trailer, and it looks fucking incredible. Absolutely incredible.
So I kind of told Brian a little earlier, but so I was watching the Mandalorian trailer, and my son was like, "Dad, why do you have the goofiest looking smile on your face?" And so I paused it, and I had him come over, and I turned it off Bluetooth because I had it going through my hearing aids. And so we watched it together, and when it was over, he just stood there like this. I'm like, and he goes, "So this is the next movie coming out?" Like, no, this is a TV show. And he's like, "And every episode's gonna look like this?" Like, yes, every episode looks like $100 million movie because they had a bajillion-dollar budget.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed when watching the trailer of Mandalorian. I mean, first of all, it's got the Star Wars. It sounds like Star Wars, right? The score comes on, and you're like, "Oh, this is Star Wars." And you got Mandalorians. They look like Mandalorians. Everyone's a bunch of badasses. It looks like one of those old spaghetti western, like The Man with No Name. Like, just everyone's quick drawn and shooting each other. And like, there's a part where the Mandalorian throws a dude as a door as it's closing, and you're like, "Oh." Yeah, it totally cuts him in half. But but the thing that struck me, like I said, the first thing that struck me was how good it looks. Like, well, the first thing was like the costumes and stuff looked very Star Wars. Then the score hits, and you're like, "Oh, this sounds like Star Wars." And then you see the Stormtrooper helmets and how gritty it looks, and you're like, "This looks like Star Wars."
It's on the spikes. And
then you start seeing the special effects, and you're like, "Oh my god, this is expensive. Like, this looks like a movie." To your point, it literally looks like a 10-hour movie.
Yeah, and like my son and I were talking about it, and because it's not tied into any of the Skywalker stuff that we know of, and it's not tied into the big overarching rebels against the Empire. It's like we're going to get to see stuff in the Star Wars universe that they could never explore.
Well, and we're probably get a few tie-ins. I mean, luckily they released an official new Star Wars timeline because they announced this, and then another show we're going to talk about here in a second. But this takes place about 7 years after Return of the Jedi, and I think that's the thing that really impressed me is how much it looked like Return of the Jedi. Like, it felt like Return of the Jedi. Like, it looked like the world of Return of the Jedi.
Oh yeah, and like you said, it 100% looks, sounds, and feels like a Star Wars movie, but it's going to be I'm assuming 1 hour episode.
Yeah, probably 1 hour, probably 50 minutes or whatever. They're going to release it weekly, so we're going to it'll be a 10-week process. It'll drop. It should finish right around the time the last, Star Wars movie, Rise of the Skywalker comes out. So
what do you think about the weekly thing.
Part of me was irritated when I first saw it, but then again, you know what? One of the things I hate about like Netflix is Stranger Things, one of my favorite shows maybe of all time, but nobody talks about it. You don't talk weekly with your friends about it because everybody watches it at a different time. So you're just like, hey, did you watch it? And you're like, oh, no, I'm still catching up. Okay, well, talk to me when you're done. Did you watch it? Oh, I still got 2 more. Oh, okay, talk to me. One of the great things about Game of Thrones was that every week we're like, what's happening next? And we would break it down and talk about it and just analyze it to death to get excited for the next episode. So part of me is, I'm greedy because I like to be able to watch 2 or 3 at a time, but at the same time, I do kind of like the weekly thing. And if this show's as good as we think, it's going to be fun to talk about it all week long for the next episode.
I think that's pretty much what I want because while I enjoy like the Netflix binging, like watching everything in a weekend, and then if everybody watches it in the same weekend, and then you're done with it by next Friday because you have to, you have the new thing.
Yeah, shows like Jack Ryan, an amazing show, but nobody talked about it till weeks after it was done, right? It's just the shows that get dropped all at once just don't have the relevance and the lasting power, outside of a Stranger Things. But like I said, that might be the biggest one that people binge watch, and yeah, it's become part of our culture, but not the way it should be. Stranger Things should be an epic event every time it drops, like Game of Thrones was, and it's just not.
Yeah, I think hopefully with the Disney Plus stuff, I think because they have so many brand new shows, and if they're doing the weekly format for all these shows, people are going to be talking about Disney Plus shows all year long.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, oh, are you watching this one? No? Well, are you watching this one? Yeah, sure. And then I think that might actually force like Netflix and Amazon might have to, change the format where they might have to start doing stuff at a more weekly thing just so their shows can start to stay relevant.
Well, I mean, listen, they're not going to be able to have 152 new shows every single year. At some point, they're going to have to curb their content and actually give us weekly shows. But yeah, I know, I agree. The other thing that Disney did announce too, another show, no date on this one yet. I'm guessing probably next year we'll start getting this, is Ewan McGregor finally confirmed that he has in fact been signed on to play Obi-Wan Kenobi once again for KENOBI, a new streaming show from the Disney Plus.
So, did they show where this was going to be on the timeline?
Yeah, so this takes place at the same time as Solo. So this is about anywhere from 10, 8 to 10 years before A New Hope.
Okay.
So we're gonna we'll probably get some like young Luke. They'll probably cast some child actor to play Luke Skywalker. My guess is that we're gonna get Obi-Wan. They're gonna find a reason to get Obi-Wan off planet, and so that way they don't have to worry about trying to make people go, well, wait a minute, how come nobody knew about all these things happen on Tatooine? Yeah. And the other rumor is because it's tied at the same time as Solo, we could end up actually seeing the Obi-Wan Kenobi Darth Maul final confrontation that we got in the Clone Wars and the Rebels cartoon.
Oh, I still haven't watched that yet.
Oh my god, it's so good. But
Rebels is going to be on Disney Plus, though, right?
I don't know for a fact. I can't imagine it wouldn't be unless they have some deal with. I mean, it's owned by Disney, so it streams on Disney XD. I can't imagine they wouldn't put it on there. They are putting. I know Disney Plus is dropping with the original 6 Star Wars movies. They're not putting the new ones on there. Probably some deal they have once again with Netflix. I know Netflix is running them, so there's a reason why none of the original 6 are in any streaming service. They will drop day one with Disney Plus. So. But yes, we're getting KENOBI, and then the last bit of news we got a new poster for Rise of Skywalker. The poster is absolutely incredible. If you haven't seen it, it's my new screensaver. It's fine here.
It definitely does not show them hand in hand, looking like they're about ready to go skipping down memory lane.
No, it does not seem like everything is okay. Look at that. There you go. It's, for anyone who haven't seen it, basically Rey and Kylo are fighting. It's kind of that scene we've seen on the Death Star. I'm guessing the Death Star piece or whatever, where the water's flying around and they're fighting each other. But in this poster, The Emperor is silhouetted up in the sky looking down on them, and lightning is coming off both sides of him, blue and red, that are tying to Rey and Kylo. So anybody who doesn't think that the Emperor, even though we know the Emperor's in this, the Emperor is going to be a big part of this movie. Very big part of this movie. But the poster was amazing. And then we got, I'd call it a sizzle reel. Basically, it was just it was a minute-long trailer that Disney put together of footage from every single Star Wars movie, kind of reminding us, like, hey, this is where we started, this is where we're at. And then finally ends with some new Rise of Skywalker footage. Nothing too crazy. I'm not going to watch any more trailers. I don't need any more trailers. There's a little bit of footage I almost wish I hadn't seen. There's a part where Rey throws her lightsaber and it spins and it's like chopping down trees, and when it flies back to her hand, just so you realize, if you didn't realize how badass Rey was, watching her flip over a TIE fighter, they just wanted to remind you. And then you see a little more fighting, a little more stuff. You see 3PO with red eyes. I don't know what that's all about. But the big one that got everybody talking, that made everybody lose their collective mind, is it showed Rey in black Jedi robes with a double-bladed Sith lightsaber. Now, most people lost their minds in a good way. There's a few shitty fans. So this lightsaber is a little different. It has two hilts that are tied together with like a hinge. So she has them both in her hands like this, or she has one in her hand and it's double, and then she flips it and it flips over into like a full staff with two lightsabers. I think it's cool. It's probably actually makes more. It's easier to hang on your belt than probably Ray Park's giant and double-bladed hilt. So everyone who's complaining, just shut up. Space Wizards. Who cares?
Just fucking. And Star Wars is sometimes super weird and confusing. Just deal with it and roll with it.
Listen, Kylo Ren's lightsaber is the coolest lightsaber I think I've ever seen, but his little hilt guards make no sense. You would cut off your hand all the time. You know how many fingers he would have lost?
Ben, how effective it is.
That's true. But I don't care, whatever. I don't care if it makes sense. I don't care if it makes sense. If it looks cool, I'm in. But yeah, man, I am Ryan, I can't even stress how excited I am for Rise of Skywalker. I am not going to watch any more trailers. I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
What is it? December 12th?
December 20th.
20th. Oh, okay.
I'm so excited when I do the Emperor tattoo right here. I was going to do lightning coming off it. I think I'm going to do the red tying into Kylo and the blue tying into Rey.
Ooh, that's a sweet idea, man.
I thought of it, but I clearly saw it on a poster, so I'm really excited. So
maybe you should wait until after the movie before you do that, because what if something gets all fucked up and you're like the guy that's got the weird...
I don't care. Well, I got the weird Star Wars tattoo. Yeah, whatever, man. Anyway, all right. Well, that is all the news we got for everybody. As if that wasn't enough, took up the entire show for the most part. So we will move along quickly to our From the Faithful 22 and a half. We got some decent questions. Ryan?
Oh, right. So if you have like a weird random question that you would love to ask somebody just to see what they say, and you're too afraid to do it in person, every day before or the day of the recording, I will make a post and on our Facebook page, and you are free to just try to be as weird as possible. That is, the weirder the better for us. And so just leave your question and we will answer it. So I did that this week. I had a Kingpin post.
I know, I saw it. I loved it.
Right. Good movie. And so we have our first question from Brian, not you, a different Brian.
There's another glorious man in the world with a name like mine.
So, favorite ice cream flavor and topping.
Let's see. Well, favorite ice cream. God, I don't know if it's my favorite, but my go-to is always probably just cookie dough.
Yeah. But since we know there's a topping, if I have to have a topping, I just go straight up French vanilla with the hot fudge topping. I could eat that any day.
My favorite topping is crushed Oreos and caramel.
And you put that on your... Ooh, that'd be good on a cookie dough.
I put it on my cookie dough with a little bit of peanut butter. I'm telling you, it will change.
You get one topping.
Nope. I'm just saying what I do, Ryan. Cookie dough ice cream, little bit of peanut butter, crushed Oreos, and caramel. I know somebody got diabetes just listening to that, but
when I'll get French vanilla. I'll put it in the hot fudge. I'll nuke it, warm it up, pour it on top, and then I'll get some like strawberry jam or jelly, and I'll throw some of that on top.
That sounds delicious.
It is. So, thank you, Brian. Not Brian West. Next up, we have Jeff. He wants to know, what is the first thing you're going to do or change when the last kid leaves the house for adulthood? I know I am probably going to just strip down to my underwear.
I already do that. What are you talking about?
And walk around. And that's the first thing I'll do when my kids are finally out of the house.
Oh, you got it?
I'm just going to just drink every night with my wife.
I do that. I'm gonna go down and subscribe to one of those movie services where you can go see like 3 movies a week for like $10. I'll get like the AMC Unlimited card, and I'll just go start seeing movies all the time again. It's gonna be great. I know that has nothing to do with the house, but when they're out, I'm gonna be like, freedom. I'm gonna start playing video games again. I'm gonna get home from work, sit on the couch, play video games.
I've been like allotting myself like an hour like every 2 weeks where I actually remember like, oh hey, I should probably play some video games or something.
Yeah, when I don't have to listen to 2 hours of my kids' incessant rambling and cook them dinner and make sure they've taken showers and get their lunches ready for tomorrow and all the other things, I'm just going to come home, change out of my work clothes, plop on the couch, and play Halo 15 or whatever it is by then. Yeah. It's going to be glorious.
I'm going to just look forward to having a meal plan that is 100% everything that I would actually want. And it's not like, oh, here's the one option because this kid doesn't like to eat chicken.
Dude, I have officially got to the stage where my kid's like, I don't want this, I wanted this. I'll be like, then fucking starve and die. I don't care. You eat what's in front of you, or you can starve to death.
I need to start, well, not with my son. My son will basically eat anything that you put in front of him right now because he's almost turned 12 in 2 weeks. And dude, Brian, he can eat like a whole pizza, a whole side of like a whole pie, for dessert, and like still be hungry.
My 6-year-old is officially in the all I want to eat is fruit snacks, granola bars, chicken nuggets, mac and cheese, and that is it. Yeah. No, except for ham sandwiches. She doesn't like peanut butter and jelly. I don't know how I had the only kid on earth who's 6 who doesn't like peanut butter and jelly. She gets mad at me, and I get in a fight with her. I'm like, no, you can't have a turkey sandwich every day. Turkey's expensive.
You want to go to the deli and get the
dude,
deli
and my wife doesn't even, she makes me buy like the good Tillamook cheese, like the real thick slice, like real cheese. We don't have no crass singles in this house. So like, I'm like, that sandwich is like $3.72. You're not getting one 5 days a week. Not happening.
If you go to Costco, bro, they have like the big giant packs of cheese. You can just get that.
That's what I buy. We still go through. We eat a lot of cheese in my house. You'd think we're French. It's like cheese all day.
Yeah.
Surprised anybody in this house poops.
So there you go, Jeff. Let's see. And the last question off of this is from X, our good buddy, X at the Utah Outcast.
Yes.
He wants to know,
which is a great show you should subscribe to. What do you say? He's only like 10 subscribers away from 7,000, which is more than us. It's like It's like 6,952 more than us.
Yeah. So
go subscribe.
He did help us get over the 200 mark.
It's true. So go subscribe to his show. It's a good show. I even appear on it from time to time.
So X is piggybacking off a conversation we had in our group chat today. He wants to know, do you have a bug out plans just in case of a zombie attack? For those of you that don't know, bug out plans is basically like when you watch all those prepper shows, they're like, when the shit hits the fan, my family's gonna...
I'm just gonna die.
Grab our backpacks and...
My plan is just to sit in my house until I die.
That's it? You don't
want to fight? I don't want to fight zombies. Hey, what are we going to do? We're a generation that doesn't know how to do anything about the internet anymore. We would all die within 3 days. You know who would inherit the earth? You know who would inherit the earth? All those fucking preppers. And do you want to hang out with those people? I don't think so.
Well, we have like an emergency bag that I put together that's in the car. Then I have one bag that's in the house. Mm-hmm. That's like just got some basic, first aid kit and a hatchet and all the fire starter and matches and all that shit. But if it was the zombies,
listen, day one. I mean, I'll probably if I decided to not just die, day one, I'd go renegade, just start looting and pillaging everything I could find. Yeah, I'd give me a nice airstream that zombies can't get into. Great.
I'm pretty screwed when it comes to that because as soon as I can't find any more hearing aid batteries, bam, I'm deaf. Something happened to me at night. Nope, I might as well just lay down and die because I can't see at night. So
yeah,
I'm not going to survive very long.
I mean, I don't want to think about zombie apocalypse because even if you do survive, you're eventually going to be eaten to death by some zombie. So it's probably better you just get murdered. Just somebody just shoot you.
Just as long as you can be Tennessee from Zombieland, and everyone else is just screwed.
Yeah, I don't know. To be fair, I have no prepping skills, and I have not prepped at all. I've got 9 cans of green beans in my pantry and a bottle of water. So however long that lasts me, that's how long I'll be alive.
So don't worry, Brian. You can come find me.
Yeah, it's a long way to Philadelphia, my friend. Yeah. I'll probably go find my father-in-law. He's got lots of guns and. His house is.
We'll meet fortress. X in the middle in Utah and come hang out with him.
I guarantee you the Mormons have a plan.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
They probably released the outbreak.
Yeah, and right. X is going to be kicked out of that state. So
that's true. All right, I got a question on my page. Where'd it go? David would like to know. He would like to see a movie series with Greek mythology, like the Greek gods. He says we've seen aspects of it, but he would like something more. So what's
Hercules or something?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I think maybe Clash of the Titans. I think they could remake. I think there's a world where you could remake a Netflix series, a 10-episode Clash of the Titans series, which would probably be pretty cool.
They should do Hercules and Xena Warrior Princess remake.
That's true. I've actually been reading the Percy Jackson. I'm halfway through. Well, I'm almost through the second book. They're a little kid-friendly, but, I mean, they're pretty fun. They do a lot of Greek mythology stuff, so I wouldn't mind seeing whoever owns that property, whether it's Warner Brothers or Disney or whoever has the rights to it. It'd be cool to see them do, a 10-episode series where you could kind of do each book in 10 episodes, and I think the books actually format really well to a series like that, so that'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, we watched the first movie, and my son really wants to read the first book after we saw the movie. So
here's the problem with a show I want a hardcore give me a Troy series is Greek. There's a reason why they're called Greek tragedies. Any series you watch about the Greeks is just always going to end terribly. For all your favorite characters.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I really know of when it comes to Greek mythology and stuff like that. It seemed like everything is just set up to be as...
Dude, I was reading this in the Percy Jackson book. They were talking about Greek heroes. Literally only 3 Greek heroes in all of literature ever had happy endings.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, very true.
So, I mean, I would like Clash of the Titans, I think would be a cool one just because Perseus is one of the characters who actually got it. If they're really going to go hardcore, if you're going to be listen, I want a rated R, Showtime... Greek mythology, give me God of War, based on the Sony PlayStation game.
I've never played those games.
Give me, was it Kronos? I think Kronos. I don't know.
Yeah, Kronos.
He's a badass. He murders everybody, and there's lots of sex and Greek death, and eventually fight Zeus. That'd be badass.
He does a lot of naughty things. Apparently.
Yeah, he does some bad shit. So I guess ultimately either give me a fun Percy Jackson, a middle level Clash of the Titans series, or give me the God of War series.
Yes,
like that.
Just
murder, death, murder. So thank you, David, for your question. And then we had one more. Here, stall. I gotta find it.
From I know who this one's from. Christine.
Yeah, from Christine.
Probably the most loyal listeners.
Absolutely. Let's see. Where's the messages at? It's always
cannot praise her enough for all the extra work that she does promoting us. I noticed she'd always trying to get people to subscribe because she is, such a great fan. So
can't find the message. Oh,
so
I hate where they put them.
I'm just saying that I know for a fact that Christine has been putting in a lot of extra legwork to help us expand.
Oh, hang on. I think I found it.
Always very prompt about the questions,
yes.
And we don't have a show.
Thank you for selling, Ryan. It's a very good job. Christine had a question. She wanted to know, will Dwight find Sherry? I believe this is a Walking Dead question. Will Dwight find Sherry? She sure hopes so. She thinks that he deserves to find something good. He was a horrible person, but he's been changing, and he's been trying to make up for it. So, will Dwight find Cheryl?
Is this on Fear the Walking Dead? Or just...
So, I think Dwight, I know he left Walking Dead, so Cheryl left... I think it's Cheryl. Cheryl left on... or Sherry. Sherry left in The Walking Dead, and Dwight left The Walking Dead to find her, but then I think he found his way over to Fear the Walking Dead. And my answer is I don't watch The Walking Dead really anymore, so I have no idea. I'm going to say no. Fuck Dwight. He's a dick. He literally let Negan, bone his wife so they could stay alive. Fuck that.
Yeah, that's true. I honestly, I stopped watching that show after... I think I watched to where Carl died. Spoiler, I guess.
Yeah,
but...
I don't know. I mean, even if Dwight did find Sherry, if Sherry really wanted to be found, she would have found a way for Dwight to find her. I don't know. I think that relationship is just broken. I don't know how you go back.
Dwight was the guy that had his face had been
his
ironed.
face was all melted.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know. Whatever. And besides, you know what? Characters in The Walking Dead don't get happy endings, so I'm going to say no. He's never going to find her.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you and say that. He's gonna die. His other face is gonna get ironed.
The other side of his face? Nah, he's gonna show up in Gotham as a judge or a lawyer who flips a coin and rules justice based on his coin flip. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you, Christine. Thank you, everybody else, for your questions as well. They were pretty good ones tonight. And let's see, real quick before we get out of here, Ryan, do you have any recommendations you'd like to recommend for people to do this week?
So my wife has been watching Dairy Girls on Netflix. It's about four teenagers that are in Northern Ireland in the 90s, when all the bombings and stuff were going. But it's a comedy, and it's basically just how the kids are just kind of living their life and doing their thing, and in the background, there's all this. All the bombing going on and the police stuff, and it's super funny. I have not heard my wife laugh as hard as she does while she's watching this show, and it's just a whole bunch of weird Irish sayings that they do. When they call Is it
an Irish show? Is it an imported show?
No, I think it's a Netflix original, but that's just where it's based.
All right. So Dairy Girls. I really thought it was going to be about people milking cows.
Yeah. No. Derry.
Oh, all right. So Dairy Girls on Netflix. Check it out.
Yeah, it's really funny. If you really like Irish accents,
you're going to love it. I too have a Netflix. Well, I guess not really a Netflix CW show. Well, all 6 seasons are on Netflix. Me and my wife finally got caught up, and we just binge watched the 6th season of the 100. I know I've talked about it before on the show, but I really liked it, and I'd been meaning to get caught up, and so me and my wife actually got caught up together. We just watched the whole thing, and wow, season 6 is one of the best seasons of any show I've seen in a long time. It was incredible. If you've not seen the 100, now is the time. Next season will be its final season. So all episodes are available on Netflix. It's not your normal 22-episode show. A lot of the seasons are only 13 episodes. But it got really, really good. Season 6 was great. Super good. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil it because there's some really big stuff that happens at the end of season 5. But
can I ask one spoilery question?
Sure.
have they rebuilt civilization yet?
No, they have not. And that is all I'm going to give you, because if I tell you any more, it'll ruin some of the surprises. But I cannot highly recommend enough. It is a CW show. Occasionally it feels like a CW show, but most of the time it feels like something that'd be comfortable on HBO or Showtime. It is a really good show, or probably more like FX, because there's not like the nudity and stuff. But it's really good. It's great. It's well done. It's well acted. It's well written. The best part about the show is just when you think like you get bored of a character or a storyline, you're like, this show's getting boring. Boom, they kill everybody, and all of a sudden this new whole thing comes in, and you're like, whoa, it's like a new show again. I don't know. I would highly recommend it. Me and my wife, like I said, season 6 we blew through in about 3 days. It was so good. I can't recommend it enough. So you can get it all right now. All 6 seasons are available on Netflix. You can the 100. Check it out now. Season 7 airs next season, so be caught up for the final.
One more quick question.
Yeah.
I watched the first season. It felt very much like it was a weird teenager show on the CW. You're saying it's gotten better since then?
Oh my God, it's gotten so much better.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe I'll try and
I would definitely go back. It took about a season and a half to really find its footing, but man, it got good. It got really good.
I'll put it on my binge list.
Ryan, there's cannibals. Cannibals. Anyway, check it out. 100. All right. Well, I think that's the show, Ryan. So before we get out of here, would you like to tell everyone where they can find us?
Of course, you can find us on YouTube at the Geek Dad Report and Twitter at the Geek Dad Report. Brian is Brian West 53, and I am Big Bruiser. We're on Facebook, Geek Dad Report, and you can find us on pothell.com and iTunes. So make sure you subscribe and like and comment
and share.
And the only thing that we really ask you guys, like Christine, who we know does this on a daily basis, is tell 5 of your friends about the show, and try and get them to subscribe. And if that happens, then we get excited
and make more episodes.
Yeah, we get excited to make more episodes. I mean, we're coming up on 200 episodes, and we just surpassed that amount of subscribers.
Yes, so we're trying to get to 300 before the 300th episode.
Yeah.
One subscriber per episode, Ryan. That's all we're asking.
Yeah. So by the time we are closing in on our 50 years old, we might be at like 1,000 subscribers. So
maybe if we're lucky. But anyway,
so please, if you enjoy the show, tell your friends to listen to it and subscribe.
Yes. Do all those things.
It makes all the world of a difference for us.
Yeah, so. It does.
And Brian, I believe we did have some new subscribers.
We had a new subscriber that gave us their name. Sometimes if you have your profile set to private, we like to give people shout-outs, but if it's set to private, we don't know. But we did just get a new subscriber before we started recording. The Comic Jabroni. Who is he? I'll tell you one thing, he ain't no jabroni.
Yeah.
He's the Comic Jabroni. With a name like that, clearly knows his stuff. I mean, obviously he does. He's subscribed to our show, which... Yeah. I mean, took him from here to here, but I mean, here was already like the top of the mountain. Subscribing to us launched you in the stratosphere because you're that awesome. So thank you, Comic Jabroni. I hope you enjoy what you're seeing, and thank you for subscribing.
We definitely smell what the Comic Jabroni is cooking.
It's cooking, absolutely, and it smells great.
Yes, I would assume it smelled like steak.
Probably like fresh comic book pages.
Yeah.
That steak sauce has been dribbled on, so it's like comic book steak sauce. It's real good. Yeah. It's the best kind of flavor.
I'm sorry, I don't use steak sauce.
Anyway, whatever. It's time to go. Ryan, you got anything else?
No, I do not, Brian.
Then that is the show, and as always, everyone, we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, and stay awesome.
And stay nerdy, everyone.